Attorney General, Commissioner of Police, and other important dignitaries who are too numerous for me to mention. I am very excited to welcome you all to this special court session organized to formally herald the 2023-2024 legal year of the High Court of Bauchi State, in line with our age-long tradition. For the records, the 2023-2024 legal year of Bauchi State High Court has commenced since Monday, the 11th day of September 2023. What we are doing today is, as usual, in compliance with our well-known tradition of assembling to give account of our performance in the outgone legal year, as well as speeches on the state of justice sector of the state will be made by the Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, and of course the Chairman, Nigerian Bar Association. Expectedly, an occasion of this nature calls for great celebration. But even in the midst of that, it is still necessary that we spare a moment of our time to have a deep reflection and introspection on the journey we have made so far, with a view of knowing what direction to channel our energy and available resources. Though the journey was rough, it's a rough tide, can never at any time be convincingly adjudged to be smooth. However, the good thing is that it has always been favorably adventurous, as we have often been privileged to acquire new skills to aid us through the web and tapestry of life and our constitutional responsibility of adjudication. In those areas we have excelled, we have to commend ourselves, as well as endeavor to show up and tempo of work. While in the areas of obvious shortcomings, as responsible and responsive mortal, we shall do a quick introspection and forge ahead with the right mindset and disposition to achieve more favorable results in the course of the successive legal year. The High Court, and by extension, the Bauchi State Judiciary, has fared well in the outgone legal year. Even though our high level of resilience was brazenly taken to task by some challenges, the prayer, admonition, and support of well-meaning citizens of Bauchi State, to a very large extent, gave us the fortitude to remain steadfast and resolute in making a memorable impact on the state judicial landscape. As this new year unfolds, we would like to assure everyone that we are determined to redouble our efforts to bring about a judiciary that our people will be very proud and ecstatic about. The year 2022-2023 legal year, which ended on Friday, 31st day of July 2023, and the year preceded it, that is the 2021-2022, was robustly adventurous in all ramifications. Although it presented some visible rough edges, the new legal year has yet offered us the privileged opportunity to diligently smoothen all the unwieldy terrain and fine-tune everything that may impede a hitch-free progress. I must say with great pride and excitement that we experienced so many positive, heartwarming developments in the judiciary. In response to the yearning need for the injection of fresh blood into the state judiciary and to ensure speedy dispensation of justice, we were able to appoint and subsequently swear in 4 new judges to the High Court and 4 cadis of the Shari'a Court of Appeal during the period under review, bringing the number of our judges to all-time high as 12 judges of the High Court. If for anything, that interesting development has, to a large extent, increased our adjudicatory capacity and reduced the number of nights we stayed awake as a result of workload. That in itself was a cheering news to the litigants that turned the court on a regular basis. To consolidate on the gains made and further ensure productivity of our judges, I personally appeal to the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Chairman National Judicial Council for additional slots of High Court judges and cadis for appointment. The Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Chairman National Judicial Council, Justice Olakayode Ariwola, graciously approved additional 5 slots for High Court and 5 slots for cadis of the Shari'a Court of Appeal. The process of appointment has since commenced in earnest and reached advanced stage. Though we have not forgotten them on board yet, I convincingly assure the litigants, the general public, that I will work assiduously towards seeing that Bauchi State High Court gets the legally prescribed full complement of 25 judges. At this point, I would like to comment on the process of appointment of judges of superior courts, and particularly as it relates to Bauchi State. The Judicial Service Commission is a constitutional creation with the Chief Judge of the state as the chairman, and its mandates, functions, and responsibilities, among others, is a process for appointment of superior court judges of the state. The process, presided over by the JSC, includes calling for expression of interest from prospective applicants, nomination of candidates by stakeholders, screening and shortlisting of candidates, double of the number to be appointed, requesting for security clearance, medical certificate of fitness of the candidate, and forwarding same to National Judicial Council through the Office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria for further processes that leads to the appointment. The guidelines and criteria for screening and nomination of candidates shall be in strict compliance with the guidelines for appointment of Superior Court judges of 2014. For a candidate to be qualified, he shall possess requisite qualification and experience, seniority at the bar bench, designation, good conduct, integrity, and exemplary reputation. Due regard shall also be given to geographical spread of the state. It is my observation that whenever the process for appointment of Superior Court judges, which includes judges of the State High Court and cadis of the Shari'a Court of Appeal, commences, some vested interest will turn it to an issue of primordial sentiments, emotions, and unfounded allegation, devoid of substance, with a view of blackmail, to blackmail the JSC into succumbing to their personal interest at the detriment of merit and due process. The process that led to the appointment of 3 High Court judges in 2015, 1 judge in 2018, 2 judges in 2020, and 1 judge in 2021 were also not devoid of sentiment, emotions, and blackmail. In the last process that led to the appointment of 1 industrial court judge from Bauchi State, I was accused of sidelining a particular religion at the federal judiciary that includes the Federal High Court, National Industrial Court, Court of Appeal, and by the grace of God, the Supreme Court. The instant process of appointing 5 judges and 5 cadis of the Shari'a Court of Appeal commenced a few weeks ago in accordance with the provision of the extant law and rules, but the Commission came under heavy criticism that are unfounded. We are also accused of sidelining another particular religion. In the process of appointment under the consideration, there are vacancies of 5 vacancies of High Court. 1 each was shortlisted from the official and private bar, 3 from the magistrates for the preferred list. There is naturally no possibility that all the 44 High Court applicants will be shortlisted for a vacancy of 5. Those in the private and official bar have the opportunity and advantage of aspiring also to the exalted rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Unlike the magistrate who chose to remain on the line for decades, aspiring to be elevated to the higher bench. This calls for commendation and not condemnation. There are civilized and lawful ways and manners of channeling grievances to appropriate authorities with constitutional mandate to entertain such complaints. But to resort to newspapers, social media, and other forms of crude illegal means of misrepresenting facts and misleading the public is most unfortunate. Instigating one arm of government against the other is an attempt to destabilize the peace, harmony, and collaboration between the 3 arms of the government that are independent of one another, and will hamper the progress and development of the state. I wish to reiterate unequivocally that integrity is an essential quality of a judicial officer, and he must, as a matter of necessity, exhibit the standard of integrity, morality, and good behavior which he sets for himself. In a situation where a judge decides a case wrongly out of motive, it shakes the faith of the litigant and public, and by extension, the whole society. Such a judge who does not maintain high standard of integrity has no right to continue to occupy the chair as a judicial officer. In the same vein, if a judicial officer is found to be corrupt, then he cannot be allowed to hold such a divine chair of a judge. It was sacrosanct, it was Socrates that the great Greek philosopher who stated in clear terms that 4 things improve a great judge, and these are to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially. It has been rightly asserted that judicial officers, by the nature of their calling, discharge divine function, even though they themselves, as mere mortal, are not divine. I am very much convinced that judicial officers at the various hierarchy of courts in Bauchi State are discharging their judicial functions in a befitting manner. But as the Chief Judge of Bauchi State, I still strongly desire from all judicial officers across the courts to lead a disciplined and principled lifestyle that will enhance their trust and integrity, both ends. Judges owe the society a great duty to always decide cases without fear or favor, affection or ill will, friend or foe. But the unpainted time, I wish to honestly assure all judicial officers that if you discharge your functions as an upright judicial officer by genuinely following the norms, then you have no cause to be afraid or feel intimidated by the often frivolous complaints, petitions, attacks made by persons having vested interest. However, I expect every judicial officer to work very hard and also be very honest and courteous to the litigants, witnesses, and members of the bar, and discharge all their judicial functions with all humility at their command. Even while doing this, it is still necessary to have it at the back of your mind that public opinion, sentiment, or emotion can never take the place of law in deciding cases that comes before you. The law remains the law, no matter whose interest is involved. In all we do, we interpreters of law, we are interpreters of law. We should endeavor to sever the strange of emotion from logic and assumptions from facts. We should never be overwhelmed by the action or loud voices of mob or crowd and now begin to confuse law with sentiment or something else in deciding our cases. Nevertheless, unnecessary and unwarranted utterances are bound to embarrass not only others, but the judge himself. Thus, what we should be asked, and what should not be asked should be avoided. I admonish our judges to, as usual, receive what is tendered in court and ensure what is against the law and facts after thorough analysis and assimilation both in and out of court, which exercise is of course part of judgeship. The Caesar's wife must be above board. Your image and reputation both inside and outside the court must be pristine and crystal clear to all the sundry. Like I said earlier, be bold in all your judgment by deciding cases without fear or favor, because fear and favor comes in many hues and colors. For instance, fear of one's past or peer pressure of public criticism. Like some people often misconstrue favor, does not only come in monetary terms, but also through nepotism, personal bias, and prejudices. We should all know that if the fate of the people is to be maintained in judiciary, then their river of judicial process has to be kept pure. On that basis, we must ensure fear and favor at all costs. If the people think your judgment is biased, is tainted, is partial, they will doubt the judicial process, and the river of justice will stand contaminated. No doubt about that. Therefore, it is our solemn responsibility to keep the river clean at all times. Needless to say that impartiality is the hallmark of a judge. So I admonish all of us to always be impartial in all our judgments. The 2022-2023 legal year was not all roses, as we had some irreparable losses. One of the most unfortunate and seriously disheartening events that eclipsed the judiciary in the course of the year was the demise of our brother, Honorable Justice Adamu Mohammed Kafim Madaki, who died after a brief illness. His invaluable contribution to our judiciary as a magistrate, director magistrate, deputy chief registrar, and a judge of a high court can never be unmentioned. We have also lost some members of staff who were dedicated to their duties and made various contributions to the development of judiciary. We pray Allah to repose their soul in Jannah to Firdaus. The matter filed in Bauchi High Court from September 2022 to July 2023 are 2,034, comprising of 602 civil cases, 1,148 motions, 284 criminal cases. Out of this, The courts disposed of 261 civil cases, 633 motions, 148 criminal matters, a total of 341 civil cases, 515 motions, 136 criminal cases are still pending. 242 appeals from decision of magistrate and upper Shari'a courts were registered at High Court, 64 disposed and 143 still pending. The magistrate court also registered a total of 2,579 cases, both civil and criminal. 1,710 cases disposed of, 869 are still pending. Courts are not ordinarily a revenue generating institution, but with accountability, prudence, transparency, reasonable amounts have been realized and remitted to state government. 43,654,335 naira 69 kobo was collected by High Courts and Magistrate Court as court fees, fines, and probate fees. Even as we celebrate the successes recorded in the past legal year in disposal of cases, I would like to admonish the public on the imperative of being less litigious and be more disposed to alternative dispute resolution to free the courts of this unnecessary overstretching of both human and material resources. I have made it clear at different occasions that it is not every dispute that must find its way to the court, and it is not every matter that must come up to the High Court on appeal or application for judicial review. We are in the process of issuing a practice direction to establish and regulate the multi-door courthouse, which will engage in alternative dispute resolution and arbitration. Relationship between the judiciary and other arms of government. The executive. The relationship with the executive arm is very cordial and collaborative with a lot of understanding, even though two arms of government operate independently of each other. I must commend the executive arm of government under the able stewardship of His Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed, who has been consistent in his determination to see the judiciary is living up to its role and responsibility as the last hope for common man. His Excellency ensured that the new twin High Court complex, which was ravaged by rainstorm, was renovated within a short time, and the old High Court complex was renovated, and the Judicial Service Commission was equally renovated to a modern and befitting structure, housing offices, reception, and conference hall. Our memos received prompt and timeous attention from His Excellency, and our monthly running costs, other charges, was increased and released as I went due. Medical allowances of both High Court and judges and parties of the Shari'a Court of Appeal for the preceding year have been approved. Residences of High Court judges have been renovated. Contracts for the construction and furnishing of Shari'a Court of Appeal was also awarded. In fact, all the promises made by His Excellency at the last legal year ceremony were fulfilled and redeemed in addition to other projects that were not even promised. That is a testimony that His Excellency is a true Democrat and holds the judiciary in high esteem. We are still asking for more to enable us to stand against both administrative and judiciary. The completion of Magistrate Court Complex. Construction of Magistrate Court Azare, the present one having been taken over by High Court Katagun Division. Even at that, it is a rented property. Renovation of the High Court Judges residential house at Azare. Provision of official cars for the proposed additional judges and caddies, making a total of 10 vehicles to fulfill the National Judicial Council's requirement for appointment of judges of the Superior Courts. As the only commissioner mentioned and recognized by the Constitution, the Honorable Attorney General is a member of the Executive Council appointed by the Governor and by law a member of Judicial Service Commission by virtue of his office. He is the Chief Law Officer of the state with a constitutional mandate to prosecute, take over prosecution, enter a nolle prosecute, among other functions. The Ministry of Justice is a professional one with departments supervised by officers who exercise the power of the Attorney General delegated to them by law, and I must commend counsel from the Chamber of the Attorney General for their prompt attention to take matters pending at the High Court. I urge them to sustain the tempo and improve on the speedy and accelerated prosecution of cases. The legislative arm of government is a body saddled with the responsibility of making laws and has oversight function over other arms of government. They make budgetary appropriation to the government and has been very cooperative, save for highly regrettable incident that played out in the build-up of 2021 appointment of 3 judges, where some members of the 9th Assembly stormed the Judicial Service Commission meeting in progress to disrupt it with the aim of stopping it. The ugly incident was resolved diplomatically and cordial relationship was restored. So far, the 10th Assembly has been very cooperative, understanding to the judiciary. It performs its very important role professionally, which gives us enabling environment for the executive to proceed with the execution of its laudable project and the judiciary to interpret the laws and secure the state and maintain peace and harmony. Relationship with other agencies of the government and stakeholders. The police. The responsibility of the police in the administration of justice is in particular, and the society at large cannot be overemphasized. They are very important stakeholders. They have the mandate of prevention of crime, investigation, and sometimes prosecution of cases. They also execute orders of court. They serve as orderlies and court duties. We must commend the relationship of police command in the state. They are professionals in their leadership style. We enjoy good working relationship in the administration of justice with the police. The police have my assurance that the judiciary will continue to partner with them in the business of curbing crime in the state. With the passage of the administration of criminal justice law of Bauchi State, we hope to work more closely and more harmoniously with the police in Bauchi State. The Correctional Service. The Correctional Service is one of the 3 law enforcement agencies. They are the last bus stop of any person lawfully remanded into custody, either as a convict or awaiting trial. They have the responsibility of reformation and correction of convicts to become responsible members of the society after their terms in the correctional center. They produce awaiting trial inmates to the court for trial. Their role is very important in the administration of justice. It is incumbent on us to commend correctional service for exhibiting high sense of responsibility and professionalism in discharge of their official responsibility. Your prompt, regular, and punctual production of defendants stroke accused in court for their trial is appreciated and commended. We must also commend the initiative of the Minister of Interior to pay the fine and compensation of indigent inmates, which was flagged off for the Northeast at Bauchi Medium Custodial Center on the 28th November 2023. This is a laudable initiative which will help in further decongesting the custodial center. The Department of State Service. The Department of State Service are very important stakeholders in the administration of justice. We collaborate during the process of appointment of High Court judges and kaiTsaye of the Shari'a Court of Appeal, as they provide security reports on the candidates. Presently, the DSS is in the process of providing security report for 20 candidates to be submitted to National Judicial Council for appointment as High Court judges and kaiTsaye of the Shari'a Court of Appeal. We commend and appreciate the service of their service and cooperation and professional way of handling their statutory responsibility. The bar champions all aspects of legal profession. While judges cannot openly express their feelings, the bar has no such impediment. As such, is an important stakeholder in the administration of justice. The bar must champion the cause of the weak in the society, protect the sanctity of the rule of law, and uphold the tenet of democracy and good governance. I must place it on record that the bench appreciates the important role played by the bar, individually and collectively. Lawyers are the conscience of the society and will be proper to say that an efficient and effective bar would invariably stimulate an effective court. I urge and employ lawyers to assist the court in speedy dispensation of justice through judicious case management and anchor on substantial justice devoid of technicalities and unnecessary delay. I congratulate the bar for having the privilege of being members of the noble profession which the entire society depends on, and looking forward to for direction. Before I end my speech, I would like to express my warm gratitude and appreciation to everyone that has decided to be physically present here today to witness this very important program, heralding the 2023-2024 legal year. We are very grateful to all of you for according us this great honor, even at the expense of your very demanding schedule. Thank you very much for spending your precious time with us, and I wish you all journey masses back to your respective places.
As the court pleases, after hearing from my lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Bauchi State, now we will hear from the Chief Law Officer of Bauchi State, the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, the learned Silk, Senior Advocate of Nigeria,
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, my boss, Senator Bala Akad Mohammed, Court1 Bauchi, Jagaban Katabi, and Bauchi. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, Bauchi State House of Assembly, and the Deputy Speaker, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Bauchi State and the Grand Cadi, my Lords, judges of the Bauchi State High Court, and other caddies here present. My Lord, the retired Chief Judge of Bauchi State and the Grand Caddy, the PDP Chairman, the Secretary to the State Government, Head of Service, Chief of Staff, and his Deputy, my colleagues, members of the Bauchi State Executive Council, the Commissioner of Police, the Chairman House Committee on Justice and Judiciary, members of the Judicial Service Commission, the Chief Registrar, the Bauchi State High Court, and the Shari'a Court of Appeal, my chairman, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Bauchi branch, and other members of the bar, your worships, magistrates and Shari'a court judges, and their registrars. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is with humility and profound sense of gratitude to the Almighty God that I stand to address this special court session as the Honorable Attorney General of Bauchi State on this auspicious occasion of the 2023-2024 legal year. My Lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today pleases God Almighty to allow us to be among the living and to witness yet another significant milestone in the history of administration of justice in Bauchi State, which heralded the commencement of the 2023-2024 legal year. This affords us an opportunity to reflect on our performances in the preceding legal year in order to make improvements on the successes recorded and where we fail to identify causes and address them so as to succeed in the coming year. We thank the Almighty God for safeguarding our lives, and I welcome all judges and members of the legal profession from their well-deserved rest. The vacation provided a valuable period of rest, which enabled reflection on events of the preceding legal year. I believe this vacation must have afforded my lords and members of the legal profession the opportunity to relax by temporarily disengaging themselves from the rigors and demands of the court and their offices. I trust that you have rejuvenated yourselves for the tasks ahead, and you have returned reinvigorated to prepare to resume your normal duties. The preceding legal year witnessed enhanced collaboration and good working relationship between the three arms of government, fostering increased interactions pertaining to the administration of justice in the state, which has yielded positive results. For us at the Ministry of Justice, we have had a very rewarding 2022-2023 legal year. The Ministry of Justice is basically a service provider in the area of administration of justice. When I assumed office as the Honorable Attorney General, I embarked upon new reforms and reorganization of the ministry to make it more effective and efficient in order to respond to the increasing demand for service delivery. Accordingly, I immediately embarked upon stop taking of both the human and capital resources in the ministry, which I noticed were quite inadequate considering the enormity of our assignment. Firstly, I reshuffled the directors and other lawyers from one department to the other in order to make them fit into what I think will be more efficient. I thereafter raised a memo to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, for the procurement of certain basic working equipment. And I'm pleased to report, my lords, that His Excellency graciously and unequivocally approved all our requests. These requests include: 1, the employment of 10 additional state councils this year to augment the lack of manpower, and an additional 10 in the next 2 years. His Excellency also approved funds and it was released for the purchase of laptops equipped with low pavilion electronic law reports for all the required including those in aspirational office. We have also purchased desktop computers and printers for all the departments in the ministry. What is more, we have also purchased additional photocopiers in all the departments. I have not finished. His Excellency has also approved the renovation of the Azare office of the Ministry of Justice, which, as we all know before now, is in a very deplorable condition, to the extent that our council work under the tree. We have accordingly liaised with the Ministry of Works, following the approval, to see that the office is renovated without any delay. The Azare office has also been provided with desktop computers, printers, and photocopiers. Approval also given for the provision of 2 vehicles to convey lawyers to and from the courts within and outside the state. What is more important to us is that in order to ease the problem of that we encounter in the prosecution of criminal cases, approval has also been given by His Excellency for a quarterly release of 1 million naira as prosecution fees for witnesses, which represents 100% increase in what used to be. The fund for this quarter has since been released, and our work is now seamless in the ministry in the area of criminal prosecution. Thank you, Your Excellency. My Lord, permit me at this juncture to appreciate and extend our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, our dear state, for his magnanimity, benevolence, and concern for effective administration of justice in the state by revamping the Ministry of Justice. With his efforts and more to come, I'm sure, His Excellency has shown uncommon desire to reposition the ministry and return it to its rightful position as the nerve center of the state government. I want to assure His Excellency, and indeed the judiciary, that under my watch, and together with my colleagues, we will inshallah turn the fortunes of the ministry and improve the quality of our services and indeed the quality of the affairs. During the period under review, the ministry received the following cases: 89 armed robbery cases, 105 homicide cases, 156 motions, 40 rape cases, 29 kidnapping cases, and other sundry offenses, 144, making a total of 599 cases. Out of the 599 cases received, 97 have been disposed of, 449 are pending in various courts, while 53 are at legal advice stage. Considering the number of cases in the ministry, we are devising a strategy of expediting the prosecution of these cases in order to meet the requirement of the administration of criminal justice law, which emphasizes the need for speedy trial and disposal of criminal cases. Within the same period, we received a total of 167 civil cases. 61 have so far been disposed of, while 94 cases are pending in various courts. The Ministry of Justice has, during the same period, drafted and vetted about 141 contracts, agreements, and MOUs on behalf of the state government. And what is interesting is that we have, in the process, generated the sum of 230 million naira for the state government, which we have remitted. This is far and above the estimate that was given to us in the budget, which is 260. We have surpassed that estimate. We have drafted and vetted 27 bills and other statutory instruments during the period under review. All cases sent to the Ministry of Justice by the police for legal advice have been treated with dispatch, thereby making it possible to reduce the number of awaiting trials in our custodial centers. Government has paid the practicing fees for all state councils for the year 2023, as well as their local branches. Funds were also released, which enabled all state councils to attend the 2023 annual conference in Abuja, which was adjudged to be the best in the history of MBA. And funds were also used for the attendance of the Law Officers Conference, which took place in Ekiti. So we are having a party in the ministry. The judiciary, my lords, permit me to say that there has been no time that now that the most cordial relationship between the minister and the judiciary is experienced. The present administration, under the distinguished leadership of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, has much respect for the rule of law, and therefore hold the judiciary in a very high esteem. This can be seen from the support in the employment of additional judges and caddies currently taking place. We expect Your Excellency to provide the vehicles, the necessary vehicles. I can assure you will do that. It's a lover of the judiciary. The police, my lords, the relationship between the Ministry of Justice and police has been very cordial. The ministry acts as a legal advisor and counsel to the police. Presently, the ministry is in charge of prosecution of all capital offences and other minor offences pending before various courts within and outside the state. And the state council in the ministry are doing their best within the available resources. Just last week, the ministry, in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, trained IPOs from all the 20 local government areas in the state in the area of investigation and prosecution of gender-based violence offences in the state. The relationship between the Ministry of Justice and the Custodial Service has also been very cordial. Both are collaborating in the area of administration of justice, geared towards the discongestion of the correctional centers. The correctional center always provides the ministry with list of inmates on a monthly basis to enable them to take stock of the progress of cases in line with the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2022. The working relationship between the members of the private bar and that of the public bar is also cordial. We have collaborated and complemented each other. As the leader of the bar in Bauchi State, I would like to call the attention of the MBA to caution our members on incessant writing of frivolous petitions and other unwarranted write-ups against our judges. What is more worrisome is that instead of channeling such petitions or write-ups through the appropriate channel, that is the NJC, the National Judicial Council, such petitions are often being posted on social media and other inappropriate mediums, which to my mind takes away the potency of the issues raised in the petitions and puts to question the motive of the writer. Therefore, as lawyers, we must exercise restraint and desist from this infamous act. We cannot, by ourselves, destroy the image of the judiciary and our judges. My lords, and other distinguished guests here, this occasion marks the beginning of yet another journey in the administration of justice in Bauchi State. We must therefore all join hands to ensure that our society remains safe and secure. I pray that the Almighty God will guide all of us in this journey and will give us the grace to administer justice to all without fear or favor, such that the confidence of the common man in the system will not be eroded. I thank you for listening.
for the justice sector in Bauchi State. Now we will hear more success stories from the bar, both private and official, through the MBA Chairman Bauchi State Branch, Dr. Ibrahim Benjuma.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bangaren, the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, the Speaker, Bauchi State House of Assembly, the Deputy Speaker, Bauchi State House of Assembly, Honorable Chief Judge Justice Rabi Talatu Umar, Honorable Grand Kadi, Bauchi State, Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Bauchi State, Commissioner of Police, Bauchi State Command, Secretary of State Government, my lords, members of the Executive Council of Bauchi State, urban stakeholders in the justice sector, Chief of Staff, distinguished invited guests, leaders and members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I'm elated and thrilled to stand in this courtroom today and be part of this historical gathering, that is the 2023 and 2024 legal year commencement ceremony of Bauchi State Judiciary. I thank my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of Bauchi State, for the invitation extended to the Bauchi branch of the Nigerian Bar Association to participate, and for the privilege of addressing this gathering for the first time as a chairman, MBA Bauchi branch. I'm aware that your lordships have since resumed judicial activities, but as this is the formal ceremony marking the beginning of the new legal year, may I respectfully, on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association Bauchi branch, officially and most warmly welcome your lordship back from the well-deserved rest and vacation. May I equally recognize and appreciate the Pakistan judges who dutifully held the fort, hearing and determining cases that required urgent judicial intervention and ensured that the hills of justice were not completely put on hold while the court was on vacation. The opening of the legal year is an important occasion for the judiciary all over Commonwealth jurisdiction. The ancient tradition dated the Middle Ages and involves the religious practice of judges praying for guidance at the start of the legal year. It is an acknowledgement and recognition of God as the judge of all judges. An occasion of this nature also provides an opportunity for judicial officers to renew their resolve, to uphold the integrity of the bench and to do justice to all men without fear of favor, affliction or ill will. Just as judicial officers are expected to conduct themselves in strict compliance, not only with the judicial oath they took, but also by the dictate of their individual beliefs in the discharge of their duties. It is not out of place to also consider that judicial officers, being infallible human beings, are also susceptible to certain weaknesses like other human beings. That is the basis for seeking the face of God at the commencement of each legal year. Consequently, it is necessary to make some remarks on behalf of the bar on certain issues stated here on obligations of the bar and bench towards justice delivery. In accomplishing this, we must renew our commitment, our resolve, forge ourselves of delay and hold back mental syndrome, immorality and undue interference with the justice delivery. The good beginning of a task surely gives an insight on a desired end. Let me put this on right. The new legal year should be awakening the spirit as skip to page 3, because I need to understand that His Excellency is having over other schedules. The new legal year should be awakening the spirit of judiciary to be reminded that decisions made today shall surely mold the shape of the country tomorrow. The seed of justice planted today shall germinate and mature for the development of our society tomorrow. Rulings and judgment delivered in accordance with the rule of law and justice today will aid in shaping tomorrow's futures. My lords, the new legal year has made it possible for the bar and bench to further cement their relationship and commonality. It is a union that has been ordered by history and God, and no political affiliation and nearness to the corridor of power should put it asunder. Appreciation and message to Bauchi State Judiciary. I must pause here to appreciate, commend, and salute the Honorable Chief Judge of Bauchi State, alongside her lieutenant, who assisted in one way or the other towards reforming the Bauchi State judiciary by bringing it in line with the international best practices. For instance, under the leadership of the Chief Judge of Bauchi State, the all High Court rules of Bauchi State and Penal Code have been reviewed, small court claims have been constituted in our magistracy system, and recently, the Administration of Criminal Justice Practice Direction has been signed into effect, just to mention few. Despite all these efforts, we still want to appeal to my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of Bauchi State, to have a practice direction in tenancy matters, wherein dispute can be resolved within 60 days as applicable in other jurisdictions. This will have the multiplier effect of promoting economic activities and protecting investment. Also, sooner or later, lower court judges will be appointed. On this note, we are calling on the Judicial Service Commission of Bauchi State to appoint competent and qualified persons into these positions. It is this process that will help the state and the country at large to make significant strides toward ensuring an independent and trustworthy judicial system that serves the best interests of its citizens. My Lord, a simple letter of commendation to judges, kaiTsaye, magistrate and Shari'a court judges that are remarkable in their jobs will go a long way toward encouraging them to do more. It is also suggested that a day be set aside to reward the deserving judicial officers and outstanding judicial staff, as the latter are integral units of the judicial system. On the part of the NBA, God willing next year, we will organize an award night to reward and appreciate hardworking judicial officers, lawyers, and judicial staff. It is the constitutional position that an accused person is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved, and the court discretion in matters of bail should be exercised judiciously by our judges, magistrates, and Shari'a court judges. Nobody stands to benefit when an accused person's liberty is restrained with impunity, especially when he or she has not been found guilty. The kind of bail condition we get in some court calls for an urgent review of the exercise of such discretion. As the new legal era ushers in new ideas, new purpose, new vigor, and fresh commitment toward justice delivery, it is our hope and prayer that there will be a paradigm shift toward upholding the rule of law and promoting fundamental rights of litigants. That today's world and tomorrow's world will be regulated by information and communication technology is res ipsa repeated. It is therefore needless to state that now it is the right time for Bauchi State Judiciary to fully embrace the electronic court system in order to align our operation with contemporary international best practice and trends. By appreciation and appeal to state government. Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of all members of the Nigerian Bar Association Bauchi branch, I wish to convey our heartfelt appreciation to the Executive Governor of Bauchi State for the tremendous support he has been extended to the association. Sir, I wish to specifically thank you for your commitment in enhancing the welfare of our members, as evidenced in your recent approval of support toward the construction of the Beaten Bar Center for the association, and for sustaining the annual financial support given to the association in preparation for able annual general conference. Your Excellency, sir, we are written to your office seeking for a courtesy to come and specifically thank you for this kind gesture. We hope His Excellency will give us his kind approval. Equally, I want to thank His Excellency for the continuous and selfless support to the judiciary on a day-to-day basis, and also the important role you play in providing the needed backbone to the judges and the court as a whole. For an effective functioning of the judiciary, we appreciate that our judicial officers and staff must be adequately trained and equipped to meet the ever-increasing demands of access to justice. In keeping faith with this realization, we appeal to His Excellency to sponsor judges, kaiTsaye, magistrates, Shari'a court judges, and law officers for continuous legal education both locally and internationally. Your Excellency, sir, it is only the healthy and living judges that deliver judgment for the living society. In appreciation of the correlation between welfare and institutional development, we want to appeal to His Excellency to improve the welfare of judges in terms of medical bill, mobility, housing, and housing, among others. Sir, may I respectfully bring to your attention that our magistrate and Shari'a courtrooms are no longer conducive, and that affect employees' productivity and justice delivery. Over Shari'a courts within Bauchi metropolis are overstretched and overloaded, having 30 to 40 cases per day. And if they are to adjourn a case, they hardly give 2 weeks adjournment due to voluminous cases before them. We kindly suggest that Shari'a courts should be created and more courtrooms should be provided in order to ensure quick dispensation of justice. Another issue of concern that affects magistrate and Shari'a court judges is lack of mobility to their respective courts, resulting in many of them getting to court late. Due to the economic hardship, very few afford to build a decent house to stay with their family. In order to address this issue, we humbly appeal to the Excellency to provide official vehicles to the magistrate and Shari'a court judges so as to ease their movement to their place of work. Provide housing scheme for lower court judges and provide other incentives in order to curb and prevent corruption. It is observed that these issues of concern that affect the judiciary highlighted above could be attributed to the non-implementation of the financial autonomy granted to the judiciary by virtue of Section 121 sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. It is equally worthy to note that some governors have chosen the path of honor by ensuring the full-fledged implementation of financial autonomy to the judiciary in their state. May I humbly, sir, use this opportunity to appeal to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bangaren, to place the trail on the full implementation of financial autonomy for the judiciary in Bauchi State. On behalf of the bar, may I with pleasure thank and appreciate my lords for the selfless service and above all, the human relationship extended to all lawyers despite economic hardship. Do not be deterred by the economic hardship, having in mind that the only business a judge can engage in to augment his or her wages is farming. I employ us all to engage in farming to diversify our income. On the foregoing, may I sincerely, on behalf of the judges, request as well as solicit from our capable and able governor to allocate farmlands to all judges, cadres, magistrates, Shari'a court judges, and law officers to meet their living resources. Your Excellency, sir, I was reliably informed that whenever a proposal is presented to you for the betterment of Bauchi State, you never say no. I am confident the issues highlighted above, His Excellency will give his kind approval. Thank you, sir. As I conclude this address, Your Excellency, sir, my lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a year filled with monumental blessings for you and your families. Thank you, and may God continue to preserve our lives to witness another legal year, and many more in good health and prosperity.
Thank you, Chairman NBA. You may all have noticed that we have relaxed the rule against clapping in court room, but I implore you to recharge, get set for giving thunderous applause as we hopefully and expectantly listen to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bauchi State,